What's up, everybody? And today we're talking about some new exciting news that's been released about the F-47, the new stealth fighter jet by the US Air Force. I am so excited for this. I honestly think this is the most exciting thing going on with the American military right now. It's incredibly exciting. We don't usually get a brand new fighter jet, right? This doesn't happen very often. And so learning about this new 6th gen fighter, it's so exciting. People can be biased, right? I was boots on the ground. I was nowhere near the Air Force. I still think it's the most exciting thing, but we've got new information. We're going to get into it. It's a Friday. Sit back, relax, get yourself a beverage, put it in your chug, the best drinking vessel in the world. These things are legitimate. I honestly cannot recommend them enough. Handmade here in the UK by a small business using sustainable materials. I've drank out of tankards before, and they're never this good. Look at the rope handle. Free customization. You get a free bag, 10% off. Even the fat electrician in a previous video this week said he's getting one because they're that good. Link down below. I cannot recommend them enough. They're absolutely fantastic. Also, check out Morale, my business. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but if you love the outdoors, if you love energizing yourself with healthy, organic material like mushrooms, check out Morale. Link down below. Okay. We've got some information. This is not a video. Like, we're not watching a video and reacting to a video. We're reacting to what is a image that's been put out. So let me pull this up real quick. This was posted by General David Alvin. I'll get into who he is in a second. In fact, I'll just get into who he is right now, actually. He's the 23rd Chief of Staff of the US Air Force. He tweeted back in March, POTUS and Secretary of Defense and I just announced the US Air Force will build the world's first 6th gen fighter jet, the F-47. Although I don't know if it's the world's first because China's already got one. But hey, whether it's 6th gen or not, I don't know. I think it's more like 5th plus gen. It will be the most advanced, lethal, and adaptable fighter ever developed, designed to outpace, outmaneuver, and outmatch any adversary that dares to challenge our airmen. That was back when they announced it. But he tweeted a couple days ago. This is the big news. Our US Air Force will continue to be the world's best example of speed, agility, and lethality. Modernization means fielding a collection of assets that provide unique dilemmas for adversaries, matching capabilities to threats, while keeping us on the right side of the cost curve. And that was tweeted with this visual right here. My head is a little bit in the way. I'm just going to make it a bit smaller so you can see some of that information right there. Okay, so what have we got right here? We've got 4th gen, 5th gen, and then next gen. Although it doesn't say 6th gen, which is interesting. I'm presuming we're all just... It is 6th gen. I'm presuming we're well aware of that, but they just wanted to say next gen instead of 6 because it's more exciting. Okay, 4th gen. We've got some statistics here. Operational, quantity, mission, combat radius, and top speed. I think it is incredibly ironic that the 4th gen that the US is put out here, for the mission, it says multi-role, and like the F-22 says air superiority. But I swear to God, the F-15EX, which is still being produced, and the F-16 would dominate 99.99% of any other aircraft in the air right now. And this is the US's 4th gen. We're not even on to 5th gen. And we're not even thinking about next gen just yet. This is just the 4th gen. F-15EX and an F-16. My God. This whole image just shows how lethal the US Air Force is. Okay. Operational. 1988. Quantity 226. 226. But they're still being produced. The EX variant is still being produced, I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong on that. It says it in the image, but someone will have to let me know on that one. Mission for both of these multi-role. Combat radius. This is kind of like the big takeaway from this whole thing. The F-15EX is 690 nautical miles at a top speed of Mach 2.5. I swear to God, the F-15 is an absolute beast. 2.5? Jesus Christ. F-16 operational 1979. 830 of them been made, multi-role, 400 nautical miles, Mach 2. Amazing. Literally the backbone of the US Air Force, in my opinion. 5th gen, F-22, 2005, 185 quantity, air superiority. It's the only one that's not next gen that is specifically said for air superiority. Although, in my opinion, the other 3 would continue as air superiority. Combat radius, 590 nautical miles, and top speed Mach 2 plus. And then it says stealth plus. We're going to get into this whole plus thing in a minute because this is interesting when it comes to next gen. F-35A production 2016, still a relatively new aircraft. 471 produced, still in production. It's a fantastic aircraft, the F-35. We can all be honest that this is probably the best aircraft ever made. You could say the F-22 is probably a little bit better, but considering the cost of the F-35A, I think it's the best aircraft ever developed. Combat radius, 670 nautical miles, multi-role, top speed, 1.6 Mach, and stealth doesn't have the little plus next to it, which is quite interesting. Okay, the bit we've all been waiting for. Next generation air dominance, the F-47. They're still using this image, which I don't know. It kind of, there's a better picture here on this article. It looks like it's got them front fins on it. I forgot what they're called again. And it looks like they've been like photoshopped off. Have you noticed that? It's not giving too much away about the actual design of it, is it? Which is quite interesting in my opinion. Okay. Operational 2025 to 2029. I think they're really, I said this in a previous video, I think they're really being like optimistic here. I don't think it's going to be operational in 2025. I don't think it'll be operational until like 2028, in all honesty, unless it legitimately has been in development for like the past 5-10 years. Like, I don't think that. I think someone said that it has been flown, like it has been tested already. If that's the case, maybe. I don't think we're going to see one in 2025. Like, we're already nearly halfway through the year. I think we might get images of one being flown in 2026, maybe 2027, a video. But I don't think it's going to be operational until 2028. Someone will have to let me know what they think in the comments. But we know how optimistic these companies are, and ultimately they never get as far as we think. They never get it as soon as we think. Quantity 185 plus. This is the same as the F-22. We've heard that this is potentially a replacement for the F-22. I don't think it will be. I think the F-22 is going to be around for quite a while. I know that it costs a lot to keep maintained, but still, I think it's going to be around for a while. And this is also, it says planned. 185 plus planned. In this article that I found earlier, it does say about the cost. I wonder if I can find it real quick. That it's an extreme price tag, upwards of 3 times more expensive than current fighter jets in production. So 3 times more expensive, and you still expect 185. They're discontinuing the F-22 because it's so expensive. So this being 3 times more expensive, I don't know. 185 plus. Is this going to be another F-22 where they fail to produce too much of it, too many of it because of the cost? I don't know. However, the big news to come out of this, the main news to come out of this is this right here. Combat radius, 1,000 plus nautical miles. 1,000 plus. What the plus is, I don't know. Right? What's the plus? Is that an extra 100 miles? Is that an extra 200 miles, 300 miles, 400 miles? I don't know what that is, the plus, but still, 1,000 nautical miles? Like, that's almost double the F-22. Like, what? Seriously? I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical on that as well. But if that's the case, that is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Again, in this article here, it says, and I'm going to read this little bit out because this I think is quite interesting. Still, at least we are getting clearer indications as to what to expect from the F-47. The 100 plus nautical mile figure lines up loosely with the Navy's own NGAD fighter initiative, the FAXX, which was recently stated as having roughly 25% more range than the service's current fighters. Of the Navy's current tactical jet fleets, the F-37C offers a better range than the FA-18 Super Hornet. A 25% increase over the F-35C would put the FAXX combat radius at roughly 850 nautical miles or so. the closer to 50% additional range over existing fighters for the F-47 would make some sense if the basic performance goals were broadly similar to the Navy's, but one had to operate from a carrier and the other had the advantage of flying from fixed airfields. I think that's super interesting. They said that it's supposed to be the F/A-XX is supposed to be 25% more range than the F-35C. And so going upwards of 1,000, you can take that as a grain of salt. We're not going to get exact numbers. I think 590 nautical miles and 670 nautical miles for the 5th gen. I think that's quite accurate, although there's probably a lot of play in that, depending on what they're carrying. We're not going to get an exact number for this, I don't think, for like 20 plus years. I think it'll be 20 plus years before we know an exact number and how far this thing can operate, personally. Top speed, Mach 2 plus. All these pluses in here makes me believe that this is still well in development. And this brings me back to this operational 2025. Like, nah, this is what's giving me the indication that this isn't going to be even around until to 2028, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of plus here. There's a lot of variance here that I'm not too sure about. Now, there's two things you can think of that. One, it's not fully developed. Or two, they just don't want to give that information away for adversaries, right? But at the same time, if it was impressive enough to be like Mach 2.5, Mach 3, or upwards of 1,000 nautical miles, they probably want to tell their adversaries to be like, hey, look, we are going to absolutely dominate no matter what, right? So maybe they do want their adversaries to know that. And then here, Stealth plus plus. What are these extra pluses, right? We've got no pluses with the F-35. We've got 1 plus with the F-22. And now we've got 2 pluses with the F-47. What is this? What is this? What's the plus? I've heard that on a radar, the F-22 is like looking at a pound coin at a 25 cents piece, right? A quarter. That's what you see on a radar because it's so good with stealth. So what's plus plus? Is it basically invisible? Like, what is that? It's very vague. Again, this article talks about this plus right here. We also don't know exactly what the plus represents for the F-47. Oh, that's the range, sorry. There was a bit about the stealth part of it. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. The F-47 will feature Stealth plus plus as opposed to the F-22 Stealth Plus with the F-35's Stealth. According to the graphic, this really isn't a new revelation, as the NGAD manned tactical jet was always envisioned as being a very low observable aircraft, likely featuring all aspects broadband, all aspects stealth against radar, and significantly reduced infrared signature. The inclusion of con cards in the design, at least in the concept. Well, yeah, that's the top wings, isn't it? That's the front wings, which is getting into other stuff. Yeah, again, no one knows what the plus is, but I'd love to know what you think in the comments, what that could indicate. It also shows this here of these new drones. This is the whole NGAD thing, right? It's going to be manned with drones. One of these, in fact, I think both of these were announced quite recently. Again, 2025 to 2029, we'll see about that. 1,000 plus of these planned, which just goes to show maybe these are much cheaper to make. Air superiority, less radius than the F-47. That makes me wonder, right? These 6th-gen aircraft, the F-47 is supposed to fly with drones, but if the drones can only fly 700 nautical miles, whereas the F-47 can do 1,000, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Does it mean that they're going to be swapping out? Does that mean there's going to be a period of time where they're not going to be flying with them? It also says top classified for top speed, which I am presuming the drones can go much faster than a manned aircraft, right? We can kind of presume that. But is this something where it's a case of it'll just catch up to it? Like, they can swap them out for that extra little bit of a push of 300 nautical miles. They'll swap out for fresh ones. Like, what does that mean? That gives me a little bit of a question of, are they always going to be flyed with drones? Are they always going to be in the air with drones? I don't know. But this is all the information, right? 1,000 plus nautical miles. Over 185 of them being made. Operational 25 to 29. Very skeptical. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This article here by TWZ is very good, or TWZ if you're in America. They also go on to talk about the drones which I might do another video on because I think that's a whole nother video in itself talking about these drones. I'd love to know what you think in the comments on that. But let me know what you think. This is new information. This is exciting. Again, in my opinion, this is the most exciting thing happening in the military right now in the West. We're getting a brand new 6th-gen fighter jet, the F-47. It can go over 1,000 nautical miles plus Mach 2 and even more stealthy than the F-22. Like, that's insane. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Other than that, check out Chug, 10% off for the best drinking vessel in the world, and check out my new business, Morale, as well. Other than that, I can't wait to get more information about this thing. I can't wait to get the first images. Oh my God. That moment when we see the first image, we can talk about the design, compare it to the F-22, compare it to whatever the European Union's developing with their 6th-gen aircraft, compare it to this Chinese 6th-gen. It's probably not 6th-gen, is it? It's so exciting. Anyway, see you all on Monday. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.